discussions, we now arrive at celebrating something incredibly powerful, which is entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, which is regional innovation and ecosystem building. For a long time, the startup narrative in India revolved around a few large cities. But today, we are witnessing something very remarkable. Cities across India are becoming centers of creativity, technology, and entrepreneurship, proving that the great ideas are not only defined by geography, they are defined by a vision, resilience, and a community. This session brings together leaders who not only build successful ventures, but are also actively shaping the entrepreneurial ecosystem of their regions. To guide us through this insightful session, we have with us accomplished entrepreneur and ecosystem leader. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bhaskar Kalale. He is the chairman of EqualizeRCM Services and also serves as the president of Mysuru. A seasoned entrepreneur and respected ecosystem builder, he brings experience in business leadership, digital strategy, and collaborative growth. Through his leadership, he continues to drive entrepreneurship, innovation, and strong startup communities across regional ecosystems in India. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Now let me introduce our distinguished panelists who are shaping the future of digital entrepreneurship and innovation. First, please welcome Mr. Dr. Rao Vikram Singh, a multifaceted leader, social thinker, the president of Uttar Pradesh. He brings rich experience from leading financial institutions and holding a doctorate in sociology. Deeply passionate about social change, leadership, and empowering communities. He actively works to strengthen entrepreneurship ecosystems and promote value-driven growth. Please join me in welcoming him with a round of applause. Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Nipun Taneja. Is he there?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Hello, sir. He is the founder of Vibelets.ai and also the co-founder of Aztec Sparks. A dynamic entrepreneur and performance marketing expert, he is known for scaling global marketing campaigns and generating millions of leads worldwide. Today, he is redefining marketing through AI-powered systems and data-driven innovation, helping businesses grow faster and smarter. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Rohit Ajmani. He is the co-founder of Idea Clan Fabfunnel, a dynamic digital marketing entrepreneur and growth strategist. He specializes in affiliate marketing, performance marketing, and data-driven scaling. Through his work, he helps brands unlock new growth opportunities and build powerful digital ecosystems. Please give him a round of applause. Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Deepesh Dhariwal. He is the president of TiECON and co-founder and director of Dirghah Capital. With over 20 years of experience across global banking and investment institutions, he is deeply involved in supporting startups through fundraising, capital advisory, and mentorship, particularly empowering entrepreneurs from Tier-2 and Tier-3 cities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Deepesh Dhariwal with a huge round of applause. We now invite our moderator and panelists to join us and in opening up this discussion.
Thank you, Sukhmani. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be hosting this session and with all the distinguished panelists that we have. We never met before, so we literally met only about half an hour ago. We spent literally like 5 minutes. So we don't know each other, so it's going to be more impromptu discussion that we are going to have. We haven't really talked about what we are going to talk about. So, but we thought we will start off with a round of introduction, but Sukhmani has already done a phenomenal job of introducing everybody. So I'll probably get right into the questions itself, and I'll probably start with Rohit. The first question, Rohit, to you is, you are very young, right? and but you still decide to start something in Chandigarh, right? So the question to you and probably to some of the other panelists as well is, what does it mean to start something, let's say, from a small, relatively small city and an unheard of city like Chandigarh? The people outside of India may not know where Chandigarh is. So why did you decide to start in Chandigarh? Because you are young, you had probably opportunities to go somewhere else and start something else. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I think first would be that I was born here, I was raised here, my schooling, college, everything was here. And while I was in my college, I started running a lot of stuff already on the business side. Like I started developing websites, I started doing some marketing for US clients, and that started working really well while I was here. And I was just talking online to the US clients and doing JVs and whatnot. So I saw that model already working. And I knew like there are more opportunities if I move out to US, Bengaluru in India, whatever. That was the original plan, by the way. But things started working well while I was in the final year of my college. There was a period where I had to do a 6 months internship in the final year of the college, but I opened my own company and I started hiring people and making apps and whatnot, and that started working really well. So I thought if something can work from here itself, I don't need to go anywhere. And my parents who were pushing me to go outside, go to the US and whatever, they themselves saw the success coming in. And I think as of today, mindset is the major advantage with AI and everything. You can be in any city and you have the same advantage as someone in Silicon Valley. So it's not that you need to be in a tier 1 city or you need to be somewhere else. You are at the same level playing with all these tools right now. So I don't think that's a big disadvantage. Rather, I would find it to be more advantageous, as I had friends in tier 1 cities and they would leave. Like the retention rate would be very low in tier 1 cities. So you cannot build like long-term leadership because people tend to leave very fast. So I see that as an advantage in our case.
Have you been able to get the talent that you want?
That's definitely been a big challenge, for sure. That's one challenge in the tier 1 cities. But what we focused on initially was hiring like talent from the top colleges, like PEC, CCT, my own college, and training them. And one thing that worked really well for us is taking all these people from our, those we hired as freshers, to different masterminds globally, to different conferences, and network with the best brains in the industry. And that always helped. And not just that, like I would attribute most of where we are right now to directly or indirectly to networking. Otherwise, sitting here, we wouldn't be at that level. Going to conferences like these, meeting with the best brains, and that's how we were able to build talent.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, same question to you, Nipun, because you also started a company in Panchkula, and now probably you said Gurugram is where you're moving to.
Yes. And funny story, Rohit and I have been friends, same industry, have the same journey, same college, and we've been traveling for 12, 14, 15 years. And yes, what I'll just continue and pick up from what he said. Yes, I feel hiring was a challenge back then, but I feel in the way our education system is coming up, it's lesser and lesser of a challenge now. And with AI taking a lot of the skills part out, now that's becoming even more easier to get a higher level of output from cities like Chandigarh and Panchkula. So that's also a very big contributing factor. And apart from it, this with social media and everything, there's so much knowledge already out there that you can consume while even sitting in a remote town. So it does not really matter if you want to get the knowledge, it's already out there. You want to get any resource, it's already out there. So a lot of decentralization has already been done, and that really contributes us in building companies from our cities in India, and something that the world can go out and use. So that's a big advantage where we are. And the other advantage comes in wherein, like in US, you would see the trend has come wherein people are laying off like left, right and center. And one of the reasons India was facing, and you have not seen really great startups, because a lot of talent would go out and work in the top companies. And now that's Now, no, I'm not saying it's completely stopped, but there's a significant reduction. So India will also now retain a great amount of talent, and which inevitably in couple of years will lead to India having a great amount of startups and the ecosystem growing here also. So that's something that I see it's going to come in next few years. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. And Deepesh, on to you now. You run a financial business, correct? Now, how do you see building a financial business out of, again, a smaller town, lesser known town, so as to speak, and if you have to scale it at a much larger level, how exactly would you try doing it? Do you think there are impediments for you to grow just because you happen to be from a smaller city? Because financial products is a high touch product, correct? So when you talk to people, when you have to sell your product, for example, it's a high touch. We have, it's more of building your credibility and so on and so forth. So how do you manage to do that?
So my simple answer to this is that it's not the place from where I'm building. It's what I'm building, it's more important. So location as such in today's world where the digital footprints are everywhere, I think location is not a constraint to that extent which was used to be there maybe 5 or 6 years down the line. And especially on the financial world where, let's say we're talking about the core banking solutions, specifically if we talk about the structured financial system, the core banking solution itself has enabled access to the finance very easy. UPI, that has done wonders. The platforms like your ONDC, or you talk about the GEM platforms which are there from the government. So digital footprint has helped to bridge that gap, and I think down the line, as we progress into the financial space, it's going to become more easier. So coming from a location, Jodhpur, which practically, I'm sure most of you might not have heard about Jodhpur or a place like Jodhpur, I don't know. But I think it's not a challenge anymore. And it's everybody, so COVID was a situation where we were not traveling anywhere, right? But it doesn't mean that life stopped there. In fact, COVID gave a different perspective of bringing things to your doorstep. So I think that's not a challenge anymore.
So you don't feel that being in a high-touch business like financials, as I said, the location is
location is not more any more constant. Okay. I feel practically. It's only at the time when you really need to see the face of the person and decide on his behavior. That's why it's more important. Otherwise, it's not a challenge anymore.
Okay, that's interesting, and we'll come back to that when we talk about AI, because the previous session also talked about what AI can do for us, and we'll come back to that. Dr. Rao, you are from Kanpur. So how do you see any business that is actually based out of Kanpur? Do you see Kanpur Kanpur is generally known very well for tanneries, right? So the leather industry and so on. Leather industry, of course, can scale, and it is a capital-intensive industry, etc. But for any other business to scale from Kanpur, do you think Kanpur, being as a location, could be a constraint for somebody? If not, why do you think it's not a constraint?
It's a great question. So we have to understand any success is dependent on the DNA of the city of the person. So if we have to improvise the DNA, if I give you a context, the DNA of Uttar Pradesh was so strong that we have all the two important gods from our state, Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. So we created gods when we needed at that point of time, so we can create anything. So that is in the DNA. So in my personal understanding, I also guide founders and other startup guys to concentrate on the team. The good people have to be there. To be successful, you need a good DNA. And coming to that leather context or other businesses context, UP and Kanpur has been primarily industrial state pre-independence era. So if anybody is from that families who have moved post-partition to northern India from Pakistan, there were only two places to go. Delhi was just a pit stop. You have to go to Kanpur or you have to go to Calcutta. Else Bombay was there. There was nothing else. So the location was important at that point of time. But due to globalization, the things have diluted now. So you have to be strong enough to have an idea, to do the follow-up, to create the DNA, to improve the DNA. Like in the marriage, you should do a right marriage to have a good kid in the future. So in same, you have to have a great co-founder, great team, so that DNA of the organization improves a lot, and the success is inevitable after that. Anything and everything will follow once a good DNA is in place. It may take time, right environment is always needed, but it will come there.
So do you believe, as you rightly said, that there are a lot of people who left the erstwhile eastern India or western India rather, which became Pakistan, and people came into Kanpur. Do you think that DNA will continue to propel Kanpur have an instinct, the basic instinct of, because a lot of the people who moved were probably Punjabis and Sindhis particularly, who are also a large business community. If there is a large community of people in Kanpur who are still trying to build scalable products, you think that's a possibility coming out of
Yes.
Kanpur?
Have you all have heard name of Urban Club?
Yes.
That is from Kanpur.
Okay, wonderful.
Team Lease.
Hmm.
That is from Kanpur.
Wonderful.
Tata 1MG, founder is from Kanpur. It's not from IIT Kanpur. They are not students. They were born and brought up there. Then at least 80% of the pan masalas are from Kanpur. Except I think Manik Channa and Rajnigandha, one or two prominent brands. Everything is from Kanpur. I'm sure 90% of the people who are wearing branded belts, if in the room or in the compound or in Chandigarh or in India, one of the person in the Kanpur makes 80% of the belts for all top brands, Louis Philippe or all Michael Kors, anything and everything is made there. Red Tape is from Kanpur, the designing shoes is from Kanpur. So too much is being made in the Kanpur, either in their own brand name or doing some work from them. But the DNA is there. So people are doing business. It is a good symbiotic place. Everybody is very, very helpful. There is too many work going on.
Wonderful. I did not know that the three companies that you mentioned actually were originated in Kanpur. So I now move back to you guys, where you both are in the same industry, right? So which is the digital marketing industry, and almost competing with each other, almost. So with the almost being the key word. Now, and most of your clients are also in the US, is what your website told me, yes. Right? Is that correct? Majority of your clients are in the US. Now, when you look at your clientele, and it's the same question to both of you, when you look at your clientele in the US, why do they come to you? Do they come to you because we are cheaper, meaning because of the cost arbitrage we have, or is it because we are fundamentally doing something different and better than what your clients would probably get, let's say, in countries like the United States or maybe some countries in Europe? What do you believe is the truth?
I think the first thing is the business model we are in. It is performance marketing. So we only get paid when there is performance, when there is a sale or there is a lead. So it's a win-win for both parties. So there is no dearth of scale we can do when it comes to this. First is that. Second, I think people in the Indian ecosystem we say that we have a word called jugaad, right? So people always have a way to figure out things in this competitive landscape, especially in India. It's not just the cost advantage, because there are other countries as well, Philippines, and you'll find cheaper resources everywhere. But that kind of hustle attitude that exists here, that mindset, that really creates a really scalable model for those people to be attracted to be working with us. And it's performance model, whosoever delivers the best performance, it's a global marketplace. So anybody across the world who can deliver those leads, I mean, it's a win-win for both parties. So the world is open, and apparently we are doing a really good job on that side. Like, there's one platform called ClickBank, which is one of the biggest affiliate marketing platforms in the world. And right now we are, I'll be very proud to say that we are number one on that platform amongst 1 million affiliates globally. So that's all because I think the mindset here is go hustle mindset, and that really creates the kind of results we are seeing.
So do you, before I come to you, Tarun, so do you believe that Indians by nature have better analytical skills? Because that is one of the key components for you to be successful in digital marketing. When you said performance marketing particularly, you're talking about, how are my ads doing? Where do I target my customers to go next? And so on and so forth. Do you believe Indians, because of their jugaad that you mentioned, of thinking, or the mindset, they are better at being analytical and therefore more successful and can do things better?
I think the education system definitely is strong, but it's not the same at other places. But in India, that there's also a hustle attitude. Like you keep trying until you find the successful ad, for example, in our case. So that attitude of continued never say die attitude mixed with that education of having very strong analytical skills and the huge amount of talent availability here. Like there's so many people available who are smart. Even if they don't have the skill, they can be coached, they can be trained, and they can be built to that level where they compete with the global peers. So that's what I think it is.
Wonderful. So, by the way, when you said Jugaad, in Mysuru, we had one gentleman by name Jaideep Prabhu. He's a professor in Cambridge University in UK. He has written a book on Jugaad. And you guys should go and take a look at this. It's phenomenal. His first book was, I think he wrote about 15 years ago, which is called Jugaad. The title of the book is called Jugaad. And he got inspiration from the Jugaad from India, and obviously he's an Indian. Now he has done a follow-up book called Lean Spark, right? And we had a book unveiling and a book launch ceremony in Mysuru 3 days ago. And a phenomenal, personality when he talked about how Jugaad is done worldwide. Jugaad, of course, is very, very native to us in India. But he said that Jugaad happens everywhere. But Indians seem to be better at it than most other people. But phenomenal. I think if you get a chance to get a hold, it's sold on Amazon as well. So very, very interesting book. I just started reading when I got on a flight from Mysore to here. Right, so sorry, coming back to you.
Yes. So just taking forward what Rohit said. One is that if we see the statistics, India has a very young population. Like all the countries you compare, the world powers, even China does not have as young population as we have. And the newer generation that's coming up has already the access. They are born and brought up in the era of social media. They've watched series and episodes. They have also a fair bit of understanding of how the world works. So that's one advantage. Also, Indians, as you rightly pointed out, yes, there's a great talent wherein people are very analytical. So that also helps. And the other part of our industry is like, it took us some while to build a good trust out there. Like if I remember, we have been traveling to shows for last 14 years. But initially, a lot of people would not work with us. And particularly if you say that you are from India, they would just refuse to work, or our applications to work with them would be pending for 6 months. And it is only over time you build trust, you keep on doing the good work, and then slowly the narrative starts changing. So I think one of the key things is to consistently perform good and keep your quality up, because there's no substitute for that. And great businesses are built on great relationships, and great relationships are only there if there's trust. So that is one of the key pillars that sometimes we miss, but I think that's one of the most important things.
Okay. All right, thanks, Nipun. So Deepesh, coming to you now next. You are president of TiE Jodhpur. So my question is slightly different, similar lines but slightly different. So you have an overarching view of what's happening in Jodhpur, particularly within the TiE ecosystem. You probably know a lot of companies that are working there. So what do you think, looking at Jodhpur's startup ecosystem or the TiE ecosystem, what is that makes us as Indians or companies based out of India different, other than the cost arbitrage?
Yeah. So just to give a perspective about Jodhpur is, if I leave, that's what we were discussing as well, that if I leave the IIM brand, that one particular brand aside, you name the academic institute and that is available in Jodhpur. Be it IIT, NLU, AIMS, Zoology, Gemology, Agriculture, Ayurveda. So that is one factor which is practically changing the entire scene of Jodhpur. Second is, it's a huge SME base. And I personally believe, and that's where things which have brought me back to Jodhpur after spending almost 18 years into investment banking in Singapore and Bombay, is the opportunity which is lying in Jodhpur or any of the tier 3 or 4 locations, I would say. I feel that next set of unicorns or the next set of startups are practically going to come from the tier 2 to tier 3 cities practically. And as an ecosystem partner, it's not that हम tier 1 cities से कितने unicorn बनाते हैं. It's that हम अगर tier 3 to tier 5 cities को support नहीं करेंगे, तो how many unicorns we can miss. That is very important. So Jodhpur as an ecosystem and any of the tier 3 or 4 cities is practically, they're the growth engine that are likely to shape up the next decade of Indian growth stories practically.
Okay. Right. So that's actually a good segue when you talked about the next set of unicorns, or even if it's not unicorn, large companies are going to come from smaller cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities. Do you think AI is going to play a big role in that?
Yeah.
And how so?
AI is going to play a role everywhere. We heard the last speaker and the kind of work she's doing it. So I think I personally believe that AI is not going to replace job. That is for sure. It's only the person who adopts it and learn it faster will be in the first row as compared to the person who is sitting behind. So there are lots of places where AI in the finance world is helping us as well. So when we do a fundraising, तो पहले हम financial reports पढ़ते थे and used to analyze it, used to take 2, 3, 5 days to analyze all the ratios and all those things. Now AI is helping us to do that job very quickly and smartly. And based on the entire prompt engineering, we can go to any extent to figure out how the graphs are working across. And another segment that we work is on the portfolio management piece also. So the kind of financial reports, the kind of data, the kind of technical indicators that AI help us to generate, it's phenomenal. जो हम लोग शायद practically हफ्ते भर लगाते थे analyze करने में, that just gives a report in 3-4 days or 3-4 hours practically.
So you already deployed those kind of solutions
resources. We
in
deployed
your
those
company.
resources. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And even on the fundraising itself.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, the financial report, the past analysis, the performance analysis that we do, and the practically finances and audits are more of post-mortem analysis that we talk about. So that helps us to give how the companies is performing and what are the next things or the prospects. We look at from the risk perspective as well.
Wonderful. So back to you guys, and then I'll come to Dr. Rao later. How is AI going to shape your your companies?
AI is already.
And are you ready for it?
Yeah, I mean, we even have a AI startup right now, but yes, AI is shaping everything in our organization right now. I'll give you one example. We are in the digital marketing space, so we create a lot of ads for US-based brands. And we used to spend over $150,000 to $200,000 every year on US-based creators to create these ads for us. Now that spend is literally zero, because we are able to produce similar ads using AI UGC characters. So not just that, like analyzing ads, launching ads, optimizing. In fact, we used to have a position called media buyer in our company, which we don't have anymore. There are more people who are like, scalers, because button pushers are no more a thing. Like people who used to just increase budgets, reduce budgets, so they'll be out of business practice. You need to be more creative now. So people who are more on that creative edge are using the AI tools to the way they should. So we have built everything custom for us. We're using a lot of Claude, we're using a lot of custom GPTs. We built our own tools to bulk launch campaigns, optimize for the creative purpose. So AI is literally everywhere. I'll tell you a very interesting use case that can be helpful for everyone. So we use Slack for internal communication. And then we have a task management system also called ClickUp, which I am sure a lot of people use. So we've connected both of these to Claude. And now when there is an increment due of the people, we ask Claude to analyze all the discussions, the tasks, the reports that the particular person has done and tell us how much increment we should actually do for this person. So it is able to study 1 year of data for that person and tell us, like in his leadership, these things were missing. Like this guy was not prompt in responding, or his replies were not up to the mark, or whatever, right? It gives us so deep analysis. Like, हमारी company में we used to, whenever there used to be the increment cycle for like 270 people, we used to be like, yeah, फिर इतना काम. And now that such small things also are going, AI is helping us so much in these things. So everything in our company, from feedback system to HR systems to the actual work, all of it is being down
Using AI.
all of it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, you want to add something, Nipun?
Yes, so we've taken on a mission that we will be an AI first company. What an AI first company means that you have more agents than the employees you have. And to give you a perspective, right now I'm hiring for marketing for one of my products. And the stipulation for that profile is somebody we would hire needs to have at least 5 or 6 agents that are working, and they have to join not alone with those agents. So that's how the dynamic has shifted. So it's not that I'm hiring a person, I'm hiring a person who already has like 2-3 assistants to work with them. So I will get 3x the output from day one. So imagine you doing that thing at scale, and how AI can translate into a high unlock, like a level of productivity that's not imaginable right now. So yes, it's changing in every part, like small to big, like we're implementing AI.
Wonderful. Dr. Rao, do you see such movement happening in Kanpur, where there are companies either leveraging AI or building AI systems, etc.? Do you see that in Kanpur?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Because Kanpur is known for more traditional industries than internet-based or software-based companies. Do you see such scenarios happening in Kanpur as well?
Yes. So I would like to add that anything which is worth replacing should be replaced without waiting for AI to tell you it has to be replaced, because world is getting brutal. So any of us, if we feel that we are not doing enough work to be done, we will get replaced. Earlier, if we see when the calculator came or when the computer came, so from a sociological perspective, we feel that it is the work. Mr. Das is with us for long 40 years, he should be there. So that is all socialistic perspective. But when things have changed, now the generations is coming, so now it is a productivity oriented. So you can choose to hold Mr. Das in your organization, pay him, but free him from the work. Because he being staying in the system will get other people become less productive. So that is one point, that anything which has to be replaced should be replaced. Now replacing things with AI, it's more often increasing the productivity. So if the people, everybody in due course of time has, like if you go to a banking, so about 5-7 years banking, when everything was computerized, the people who were not ready to use the computers were given a different job or were given a VRS. We are consultant to various government organizations where we see a parallel temporary hiring. So there is a senior bureaucrat or somebody who's doing some work, but his understanding of the systems is little less. So there is a outsourced guy just doing computer work for him. So in due course of time, they will also get replaced. Then there would be somebody who will come with an AI expertise. So that will happen in every aspect. Now coming back to traditional businesses, now designing can be easily replaced. So like designing of the shoes, color combinations, then designing of jackets, considering leather goods, then there is a huge market of automotive components. So their AI usage is increasing day by day. I had a discussion with somebody in the panel and in the other days also. There are companies who are specialized in doing AI intervention in automotive engineering. So that is happening. In food industry, food packaging, selection, expiry, inventory management, AI is doing anything which is kind of replaceable is being done. So every place it is growing.
Thank you.
I just want to add a live example about what Dr. Rao said is, we have a company in Jodhpur, and you can go and figure out as well on the LinkedIn or Google, Kansara Bearings Limited. So these guys are monopolistic firm where they're manufacturing the ball bearings जितने भी अपनी trains बनती हैं, especially the bullet trains वाला जो भी project अभी चल रहा है, plus जितनी भी trains बनती है उसमें ball bearing लगता है, एक छोटा size का ball bearing, बहुत छोटा. So these guys were initially manufacturing this ball bearing, और उनको एक unit बनाने में at least 15 days लगते थे to give that shape and size. These guys tied up with IIT Jodhpur and with the help of AI. Now they are creating the ball bearings to the size that within a ball bearing भी एक अलग से और ball छोटी सी लगती है in that entire thing, and that they are creating in 3 days practically. And the kind of precision that they are manufacturing it's phenomenal. So that's a live example that AI is helping them, and they're using emergent to the extent that उसका क्या shape होना चाहिए, size होना चाहिए, and the weightage. That's a real example that we are seeing it.
Wonderful. How are we doing on time, Sukhmani?
So we have about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So you wanted to say something, Dr.?
No.
Okay. All right. So it's interesting that we kind of veered into AI when the topic was to say, whether we are going to be able to build unicorns from tier 2, tier 3 cities. But what I'm hearing is because of AI and what internet did earlier, it is possible to build large companies or very, very successful companies from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And since you mentioned emergent also, Deepesh ji, just to let you guys know, it's a phenomenal website. You guys should go and check it out. It's called emergent.sh. It's a platform that you can tell what applications you build, and it's so human in the sense that it talks to you, not verbally, but through text it tells you. And I've used it. I'm right now building a Naukri-like portal for small towns, right? So tier 2, 3, 4 cities. It's called Jobs Beyond Metros. It's in alpha stage right now. I built it. You know how much money I spent? 27,000 rupees. Literally 27,000 rupees is all I've spent. And the application is now in alpha stage. How much time it take? Elapsed time was about 2.5 months because I couldn't devote full time to it. But if I had done full time, I think it would have not have taken me more than a week. That's how scary it is. So I'm not saying it's ever going to replace human beings per se, because it can't smell. It doesn't have the sensory organs, so as to speak. AI does not have. So humans are always going to be required. Customer service is probably one place where AI will never be able to replace. It can build a very nice or suggest a very nice dish, how it can be made, but it can't taste it and tell you whether it's good or bad, right? So there are limitations to AI, and by the way, that is also probably going to change. But I don't know how, but it will probably be changing. But that's how AI is, I think, making inroads to our lives as well. One final question, very quickly. You guys are all building companies. Actually, you're not only building companies in your own ecosystem, but actually you're building the ecosystem itself by working on. So what is actually missing? I'm sure not everything is rosy, right? So whatever you're doing in your small city, what is missing? And after that, we will just maybe take one question and wrap up. Deepesh, will start.
Yeah. So I think what Jodhpur is missing is basically two things. One is the mindset to change from traditional business to a practical new age economic business. And second is the mentorship that is practically missing, because Jodhpur itself as such is a laid back, relaxed city practically. So the kind of mentorship that is not there is missing, and that's what we're trying to bring through the TiE ecosystem there. And I believe that if we have the right mindset and the right ecosystem, capital obviously will flow through that. So these are two things.
Yeah, just taking this forward, I think there's little dearth of capital in India if you go to first world countries like US and SF. So it's easily available. So scaling a business becomes easy. And also I feel a certain amount of network, because a lot of things, even you have the knowledge and resources, network does open a lot of gates. So that's also one part that's still missing, I would say, where we are. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, adding on to the mindset piece, what I have seen firsthand is that, especially in India, people are not that open to sharing. People think अगर मैं अपना कुछ share करूँगा तो वो कर लेगा, competition बढ़ जाएगा and all of that. So that mindset, when it's an ocean out there, is limiting. And when I look at the US people, they literally share with each other, and they become so large then that you can't even compete with them. And I have seen it firsthand because, to be honest, till 2019 we were like an average company, and after 2018-19 something shifted. Is that literally two of us, like, we started collaborating and we started sharing ideas, and they were good at something, we were good at something, and we literally 10x'd after that. So we have a first-hand example of how sharing and networking, and we are competing with the global people, right? So it's not like if we just keep to our remote corners, somebody will not come up. And when we shared, like, ek aur ek 11 wala real example hua. So I would say that is a mindset I see is missing in a lot of people, and they try to stay in their own cocoon. And if that shifts, I can see us competing with the giants, and I've seen it firsthand. So that's definitely one.
So I feel what's missing is the trying and failure mindset. If we can get enough support to get failed in their life, so it becomes really easy. Everybody is really scared to get to a failure. So if we get enough comfort in failing, that it already gives us an understanding that we can give a try. So there is a smaller example that everybody understands why there is a brake in the car. So 99 out of 100 people will say to stop the car. Yes, one of the function is to stop the car, but one of the primary logic is that you can drive at speed. So if it's needed, you can get a good stop. So similarly, if we are ready to accept failure and learn from it, so the families of the students, the entrepreneurs, the spouses, the ecosystem, if it starts accepting and celebrating failure, he or she is ready to get into the new venture, try again. We should also, super important is to understand failure, accept it and move on.
Wonderful. So just to wrap up, when I talked about the app that I built, it was not to sell that app to you guys, but it was more to say how easy it has become for anybody to execute your ideas. If you have an idea, you don't need to be a coder anymore. You don't need to go and hire a software engineer anymore, right? So you can actually build your own application in a matter of days, or weeks maybe, and not wait for months together to hire, and you don't know what quality you are getting at the end of the day, right? So it's very easy. What Dr. Rao was saying, just go out, try it out. Whatever you guys have an idea, it could be, if you feel that even if it's the stupidest idea, it costs very little money. And as I said, it literally cost me just a few thousand rupees to build a fairly robust application. If you have a small idea, it will do a mobile app for you as well. Right, so with that, so thank you so very much. I don't know if you have time for any question, but
we will take one or two questions.
Okay, all right, sure.
Just one small thing on the stupid application. So there was an app which is called iBeer, right? If anybody's getting a mobile. So when iPhone was launched, everybody was so fascinated. So the beer was iBeer. आपने ऐप डाउनलोड करा, उसमें यहाँ पे आपको भरा हुआ ग्लास दिखाई देगा. आप ऐसे करोगे वो खत्म हो जाएगा. ये ऐप था. कोई आप देख रहे हैं, हम क्या हो क्या रहा है. तो आपको लग रहा है कि बहुत ही बुद्धू आइडिया है. आई एम श्योर बहुत बुद्धू आइडिया है, लेकिन इतने करोड़ों लोगों में बहुत सारे बुद्धू हैं जो उस बुद्धू आइडिया के भी पैसे देने को तैयार हैं. So please match up all the buddhus and make something really buddhu.
Actually, it's a great idea to take it one step forward. Every time you have a glass of beer, you do this, you know how much have you right? And convert that into hopefully your body weight and the blood alcohol level you have, so you know whether a cop is going to catch you or not.
Correct.
So you can extend that idea, right? So yeah, questions.
Open the floor for questions.
Rohit, my question is to you. So basically, I'm a D2C guy. So we have a brand story, right? But still we are not, we are burning money. And you are doing affiliate for some other companies, some other products, no brand story. But still you guys are making money. So how, where we are missing?
We are also building brands now. Like, we have a app called Daz, which teaches people how to dance online. We also have a jewelry e-com startup called Amalfa. So we are also in that space, and we have firsthand seen the difference between the two. Like, what it takes to actually, build a D2C brand, especially in India when there's so much competition. And what I've seen missing, particularly like with the advantage we had because we are working in a very brutal performance marketing industry, because there have been instances where because we are spending our own money promoting somebody else's stuff. And if we don't get the lead or the sale under the commission amount they are paying us, we are losing money. So we have to be very straight with the kind of advertising optimizing we are doing. And that experience, actually, all that learning we had from the last 10, 12 years actually translated into the rightful marketing we needed for our brands, like Fabfunnel or Daz or whatever brands we have. That performance marketing mindset, wherein we don't lose, that mindset is not to lose, right? So we are first that mindset, and then the skill that we built over so many years doing performance marketing. I think that for us has been an advantage because we've worked with so many brands in so many sectors, e-com, finance, home services, that now we understand what it takes, how much testing. Like traditional D2C brands, they would test like 100 creatives in a month. We test 1,000 in a day. That's the difference. Like now, think about competing with somebody who's testing 1,000 creatives a day. So that's the difference. And we have built AI platforms to build these creatives at scale, optimize these creatives at scale. One person is managing like 50 ad accounts right now in our company. And 5 years back, even 5 ad accounts for one person would be a big challenge. So that's the difference that, I think that could be missing. I'm not sure what is.
I think affiliate market now has a switch. They are doing the D2C things.
It's not a switch, it's like adding on to what we are already doing. Because one thing that I believe from the very beginning, the mindset I've had is diversification. Because in the current market, what I've observed that what we started 12, 15 years ago does not exist right now. So there was one business in 2020 during COVID times that we were scaling like crazy. It was called refinance in the US market. And then the interest rate started to increase because of the inflation. That business is gone right now. Nobody needs leads for that because the interest rates are high. So if you are dependent on one business, that's a very risky proposition at least what we have observed. So we always have this risk mitigation mindset, and which is why we've also built apps, also built D2C brand, also doing this AI startup, and then affiliate marketing. And we have separate teams for all of that.
So one last question to Deepesh.
So, is there any other question? Yeah, there are plenty of people, if you don't mind. Okay, you can take it offline, please. So I want to make sure that other guests gets a chance.
My question is on retaining the talent. We are talking about the unicorns in Tier 2 and Tier 3 city. Maybe for the companies, startups like you, where you are having remote work. So how about the startups which are involved in a deep tech? They need physical things to be done, and how we can convince the talent to retain in Tier 2 and Tier 3 city in that case?
I think that's a great question. That was also a question for us for a long time. And gradually over the period of years, we realized that everything that happens in an organization is network of communication. So team lead is talking to his team, a media buyer is talking to creative team. So if you look, what is happening essentially is conversations and communication. And if we alter those communication and we use future-based language wherein they can see a future in that organization, they see that the success of the organization means my success, and they're aligned with the vision, they don't tend to leave. And then you are always there as a founder, as a leader, to create that vision periodically with them. So that's what I believe is the way to retain them once they're enrolled in your vision. And also we do a profit share with all of our employees. So whatever profits we are doing, they get a percentage of that. So everybody is also, they're also not just motivated, and motivation is temporary, right? I don't feel motivation is the right thing to say, but there's constant alignment with the vision that we have. I don't know if somebody wants to add.
Yes, right. So I'll add a small context to understand that there is a sheep and a wolf mindset. So usually startups want sheeps who are employee mindset people to work in the startup and behave like wolves. You should always hire wolves who are ready to move on and hunt and share. So the ESOPs and other things are really helpful for the motivate your team leaders, but try to find that wolf mindset if you have an aggressive startup which you want to scale up. The sheep won't fulfill the wolf's requirement. At any motivation, it doesn't help. वो उसको शाम को घर वापस जाना है, फिर वो कल सुबह ही आपके बारे में सोचना चाहता है जब उसकी तनख्वाह चालू होती है. आप बोल रहे हो कि शाम को भी मेरे बारे में सोचो, तो you need wolf in the pack, sheep won't help. Thank you.
Thank you.
There was one more question. Yes.
Yes, sir. My question is, what is the role of ecosystem to develop an unicorn? And how we can identify the different enablers to develop that ecosystem?
I think we'll be sitting here for next 2 hours. Very quickly, ecosystem plays a huge role, and I think Deepesh ji talked about it, and some of the other people as well. That's exactly what all of us are trying to build through TiE. TiE is trying to build exactly that, an ecosystem where startups and entrepreneurs can thrive. And TiE across chapters, just not here in Chandigarh, or it could be as smaller cities like Mysuru, where I come from. All of us are working with the governments, working with variety of stakeholders, right? It's just not about entrepreneurs and startups. We work with educational institutions, we work with investors, we work with the local government. We work with the remote people, because India is a very, very vast country. Think about how many languages we have. So whatever we build for India, it has to be vernacular languages, with its core as well, right? So the opportunities are huge, but to build that ecosystem, all of these players have to come together, right? So I'll give you just one example, how much we are struggling in the sense that it's very difficult to pull people out of their mindset, right? And make them collaborate better. Particularly in smaller cities, we don't have the critical mass that is required for everybody to work together. I mean, to work by themselves, right? So therefore, in smaller cities, to build that ecosystem, you need number of these players to come together to create that critical mass. In Mysore, there is a Government of India organization called CFTRI, Central Food Technological Research Institute. It is the institute that does research on food that is given to our armed forces, right? They have huge number of technologies, but they are so close-minded. It's been a challenge for us to pull them out and say, your technologies you have can be monetized, can be commercialized. Give it to entrepreneurs who want to do it. Right? So pre-harvest and post-harvest technologies that they have, right? So right from, let's say, making a dosa machine to making a samosa machine, they have built everything, but they are very, very conservative. So the ecosystem plays a huge role. The challenge that all of us have is, how do we build that ecosystem which involves everybody together and takes everybody forward? That is the biggest challenge, because people have, as Dr. Rao said, mindset is very closed. Right? So we have, so.
One question is there, and let's
One last question.
Yeah. If you look at cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, they are by nature people there. By nature could be more cosmopolitan. Now the moment we go to smaller cities, that factor could be little less. No, and my voice is good enough. So that could be, so that factor could be little less. Say you were saying about something Jodhpur, it has certain nature, and that's very, very natural in our country. And now, if a startup has to grow, in your practical experience, whether that diversity of thoughts matter, or in other words, whether that non-diversity of nature in a Tier 2, Tier 3 city, could it be an impediment when it has to really grow? And in context to that, do the investors, they look at the idea only, or they look at the demographic diversity in the core team when it comes to funding?
Can I take that question in the interest of time? So we don't have time to go through everybody. It is a challenge. Okay, no doubt, I think all of us will agree that the mindset from smaller cities is a small city mindset. No question about it. We see it in Mysore, which is a much smaller city than Chandigarh or even Kanpur, etc. And Gurugram for sure. So we see the challenge where the talent wants to go to Bangalore, because that is the next big thing. And not only that, the talent is not only going to larger cities. I'll tell you, in my experience, I run a 1,500 people company in Mysore. I'll tell you why people go. Because of social pressure. They feel that if they're not working for a big name in a big city like Bangalore, they will not get good marriage proposals. And it is a fact. People go to larger cities because their would-be parents-in-law would not be interested in them. Yeah, you're working for a small city in Mysore? No, I want my daughter to be in Bangalore. The boy should be working for an Oracle or a Sun Micro, whatever it might be, right? That's the mindset. So, however, having said that, AI is going to change it because jobs are going to be less in some of the lower part of the pyramid. If you look at the pyramid, in the lower part of the pyramid, the jobs are going to be very limited. All of the mundane jobs, repetitive jobs that were taken away by automation earlier is going to be taken away by AI going forward. Right? A lot of analytical jobs are going to be in danger. The jobs that will stay are where people know how to use an AI. It will not necessarily be an AI. So it is a challenge, but I think the mindset has to change. Right? So, and it's a problem even in the United States, just not in India. I lived in the US for 20 years. So
a small addition to that. So we ma'am was asking, everybody asked that we want to hire good talent. So I'm saying that if you want to harvest sugar cane, don't do it in Rajasthan, go to the UP area where rivers are there. So startup founders should also think to move on to a better ecosystem where they want good talent. Why should you spend more taking talent out of Bangalore and calling it to Jodhpur? You can stay in Jodhpur, be half a month in Bangalore and do the business, right? Thank you.
thank you so very much. I think we probably are over time, but thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kalale, for your wonderful moderation, and thank you to our panelists for the insightful conversation. This reminds us of something very important, that innovation does not belong to geography. It belongs to courage, creativity and community. So the India's next unicorn could emerge from actually anywhere. So on that note, I would like to invite Mr. Nikhil Gupta to kindly facilitate our moderator, Mr. Bhaskar Kalale. Please come on stage. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sajal Gupta to kindly honor Mr. Dr. Rao and Dr. Dhariwal with the token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Vishal Khedia to kindly honor Mr. Rohit and Mr. Nipun. Yes, we can all get together for